Alright, what's up y'all, it's LakerFan here. As y'all can see by the title of today's video, Comp Pro-Am is back in NBA 2K20 on Next Gen. By far has been the most enjoyable and fun to play from a player's perspective, and then from a viewer's perspective as well, myself included, as I've been watching a lot of the other streamers and YouTubers when it comes to this stuff, has been absolutely the most entertaining to watch as well when it comes to the game modes on Next Gen. Now, we all know what Next Gen has been as far as the disappointment from the part and just the viewership perspective, and a lot of you guys who are watching may not even have the game when you're just watching this video in general. But with that said, I think the Pro-Am stuff should be an entertaining aspect rather than anything you would have to relate to when it comes to the gameplay. This is stuff you could watch 100% of the time without even knowing how the game plays, because I already know from my own perspective, because we just got into this for the first time all year, and I have been loving, absolutely loving watching other people play and just stream this stuff as well. Now, to introduce you guys to the squad that we're rolling with about 80% of the games that we play, it's gonna be the 5 that you see on the screen right here. Now, we may have a couple reserves that fill in for one of our ball handlers every now and then. So the 2 ball handlers you're gonna see are an extra Nut YT, aka my boy Nut. He's gonna be playing as a secondary ball handler. And then we got GVTMB, aka Giuseppe. He's gonna be playing as our point guard 100% of the time. Now, for me in specific, I'm always gonna be setting screens, playing as the big man, whether that be on offense or defense. Probably gonna be playing size pretty heavily as well on D, so just keep in mind, I'm gonna be more of a hybrid big, so to say. I'm 6'8". And then on the squad as well, a familiar face to the YouTube channel, we got my boy Dope. He's gonna be the only person on the squad that I've played with in previous Pro-Ams, or really just in general, have played 2K with very consistently. And then we got my boy Tonic as well. He's gonna be in a very key part of our defense where he's gonna be in the corner and rotating down from corner to paint very consistently. We need a piece like that, and we're always gonna need somebody with the interior defense because I myself don't have it, and flat out, if you don't have somebody with interior defense on your 5, you're gonna be getting dunked on consistently. So with all that said, I hope y'all enjoy the video. If you do, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on the noties, all that good stuff, and enjoy my horrible jump ball right there. Anyway, like I said, if you want to, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, all that good stuff. If you're somebody who doesn't want to like the video until after you've watched it, feel free to do that as well. Now, with all this said, you guys know I'm always going to be huge on the breakdowns, so understand these videos are going to be pretty long. I'm always going to be key on showing you guys what's going through my thought process as a team leader, so to say, and essentially just what I'm saying in game at all times, because flat out, I'm very involved on the offense and the defensive end of things, where I'm running pick and rolls. Giuseppe, me and him are always going to have to be communicating and just reading the defense, talking about what we see, and then on defense, I'm with Dope playing sides at all times, and it's huge on communication. It's not me just sitting back here letting Dope get killed on screens and then just stepping all the way up when I need to. It's essentially me and him playing left and right at all times. And with that said, what you're essentially going to see us do a lot of times, we do what we call pre-switch. Now, this is why I love that me and Dope have previous chemistry that we've already established, whether that be stage 3s in previous years or the Pro-Am that we've played in previous years as well. We always want to communicate that this guy right here who's on the left side of the screen, and when the point guard is moving to the right, is going to drop back early so that the big does not have this free roll right here. Because flat out, when you let them get these free rolls and you have to rotate this corner down or something like that with no help defender coming his way, it's just going to be a really ugly situation that you don't want to give up a lot of free 2s on. And you can see right there, we absolutely box that. And that's what the plan is every single pick and roll. Does that happen 100% of the time? Not at all. But with that said, limiting the amount of free 2s and free rolls we give them is going to be huge as far as our defense goes, for the exact reason I just said. We don't want to give really easy takes to the paint, and we don't want to put too much pressure on our corner rotations or, you know, the wing rotation to the corner as well after that. So 100% of the time, always have to be making the right move, giving up easy corner dots to the 3-pointers or anything like that. So what you're going to see us come out and do again is the exact same thing. Now you're going to see this right here is kind of subject to the big man just holding the screen instead of slipping, when it's pretty obvious we're playing sides. But obviously every team needs some time throughout the course of the game to adjust to what the defense is doing essentially on their offensive end. So either way, you're going to see he holds the screen fully, doesn't get this free roll right here because flat out he's just holding the picks too often. Then he thinks, okay, they're playing sides, I'm going to slip this time. Exactly what I was just talking about. I'm on the left side of the screen. The point guard's moving toward the right, so Dope's going to step up. I'm stepping back early, take away the free roll, just like that, leave them with nothing to do. Now that right there, just to explain to you guys, is going to be the defensive outlook. I would say 90% of the times that we play this stuff. Now, with all this said, you might see a couple times like that where people just, we're all novices when it comes to this. None of us 5 have played any Pro-Am at all. This is our first run, like literally just in general. You're gonna see a nice little press break right here. Giuseppe gives to Nut, gives to me, and then I try and take it up the court, but I get met with the big man chilling back there, so flat out we just don't have anything. But like I said, all 5 of the guys that you see on this court, we haven't had any next-gen Pro-Am experience at all. You're going to see I haven't really had much experience setting screens in this game at all either, because flat out, the park that I've been playing with, whether it be 2v2, 3v3, it's just so ISO heavy and so ISO meta, where I really haven't been running much pick and roll at all, to be completely honest. So This is the first time I've even touched the B button on offense in, I would say, about 2 to 3 months since current gen entirely. So with that said, I do want to break this play down a little bit. You're going to see we play really good sides defense. I end up down here, and I actually go for the steal because I just feel like I'm not going to be able to stop him when it comes to him trying to dunk on me. My interior D is very low, and I will say that's been a very evident thing. Now, right here, this is my own mistake. I should have waited a little bit more for Giuseppe to fall back a little bit more, and you're going to see we get a really, really bad turnover right there. That's entirely on me. I shouldn't be, pushing the ball too far ahead with the passing. And to give you guys a little bit of an idea for what we have badge-wise, Giuseppe's on a build that's like 6'5". He's a small forward. Ideally, he's going to be making a new build that's about 6'3", has like really good playmaking and shooting badges, some finishing, and then really, really low defense. Because not that we don't need him for defense. I think it's going to be really nice if he were on a build that has good defense. But with all that said, you need an offensive scoring machine when it comes to this Pro-Am stuff. And around him, we're just going to have 3 to 4 really good defenders, and it's going to be as simple as that. Now, Nut, he's on a build that has pretty solid interior defense. He actually has no steal, even though he does get a steal right there on some bump. But either way, he's on a pretty chunky build too. He's about 280 or something like that, and his weight is really high. He's actually the slowest player on the court, even though he's 6'7" and I'm 6'8". But either way, he's going to be a secondary ball handler. It's likely what the build that he's going to always use. I don't think he's going to be all in on making a new build or anything like that. Rightfully so as well. Any time that he has to play with us is going to be very ideal time as well. But he's likely going to be the person that we're going to be rotating the most, where we have a second lockdown that we're going to be subbing in and out for him whenever he's able to play or not. And you can see right here exactly what I was talking about. We activate that 2-3 defense. And this right here I want to explain is not about we're actually running a 2-3. That's not what's going on here. What we're actually doing is we're trying to get everybody facing the defense, as far as like facing straight toward the ball handler or facing this way for better passing lane interceptions, better on-ball mechanics of just not having your arrow be completely stupid and whatnot. So again, like I said, guys, just keep in mind, I'm going to be doing a lot of breakdowns when it comes to this Pro-Am stuff, because flat out, that's what this game mode is so good for. It's so good for the intellectual, just high IQ mechanics and stuff like that. And I really want to give you guys a little bit of idea as to how we're growing as a team and what we're understanding. Now, this right here is exactly what I want you guys to watch when it comes to the very first Pro-Am video that we're doing in the first place, and the first game that we're even having as a team in general, where you guys are you're going to see the growth. I guarantee you're going to see mistakes like this no longer made from this point forward, even like 2 days from now. Like, we're going to have this completely figured out to where Tonic right here, he's not going to just drop unnecessarily. He was kind of showing that he was going to bait this PG, and flat out, I mean, this is just subject of us being novices. You don't know how much ground you can give with how quick your player is going to move and stuff like that when you try and bait the corner or anything like that. And really, there's no reason to do that in the first place, because there's no rotation that we're going to need right there. Nobody really got beat too badly on defense, and we don't need any help in that regard. So just keep all that in mind. You're going to see stuff like that or stuff like this. 100% is not going to be mistakes that we make over time. This is things that are going to be fixed 100%. So with this in mind, Giuseppe has a build that only has gold bullet passer, and he's running a full-time point guard. I promise you, you will not see a single point guard in this whole, like, whether it be the 2K League guys, whether it be just the people who are playing this WR tournament that we're planning to get into, any tournament, you're never going to see a point guard coming out here with like gold bullet passer. And flat out, Giuseppe no longer wants to either. He's probably making a pretty new build. Same with Nut. He only has gold bullet passer as well. And honestly, it's a very debilitating thing as a point guard. Now, you're going to see he misses the shot right there, gets a nice little crab, no contest, wide open and stuff like that as well. Now, this right here is another mistake that I am going to fix, and I already have fixed as we speak on this. But essentially, what's going on here? You're going to see this fast break, right? And this dude comes trailing in right here. Now, what I don't realize is there's another dude way over here off screen that Dope is trying to get back to, but he sees that. Now, I don't. Now, with that said, I need to realize, man, I need to fill in right here. And I just wasn't doing that, and you can see where the confusion comes from, because all three of us were essentially dropping down right there, and then we give up an easy standing lob. And I gotta say, you're gonna see a lot of standing lobs when it comes to this Pro-Am stuff. It's just flat out a very good mechanic. You got a lot of tall bigs and stuff like that that really live and die by that when it comes to how they attack, an offense as far as what they're doing on O, or I should say how they attack a defense because of what they do. But anyway, now as Nut gets fouled here, you're going to see a couple things that we really are learning on the fly as well, where Giuseppe, for whatever reason, I don't know why 2K would ever do this, where the point guard gets spawned in literally, like, I'm talking the whole length of the court away. and can't come up to this inbounder right here to get the ball. And low-key, he probably could have because the defense wasn't like super harassing like that. But either way, we have a secondary ball handler with Nut right there. So we're comfortable giving the ball to whichever of these two that it just naturally goes to. So you're going to see on this play, we get kind of lost. Giuseppe's in the corner, tries to get the drive, nothing there, ends up kicking it to Dope. Dope's not really open, but I'm chilling paint, so essentially he just drives right in, gets a 100% smother, but I get the O board, kick out to Tonic. He's going to shoot a pretty contested shot right here, only 8% actually, but either way, Dope gets the O board, Giuseppe's got it back, finds his way open because the dude who was on him actually ends up flying over to the corner, so we get the bucket right there, 11-10. Nice little lead that we have approaching the end of the first quarter. Also, let me know if you guys are a big fan of the full video commentary where I'm doing post-com, and then I also have, you know, maybe a couple chime in here and there where we have the live com playing in key situations where maybe I call something out really cool or something I want to show you of like the in-game commentary. I'm sure a lot of you guys want to see that. I will try and bring that to you in future videos. It's not going to be in this one right here, but let me know what you want to see as far as these videos go, or if you want to see them cut up more where I only show highlights and it's essentially 10-minute games or 15-minute games, because really a lot of these videos as far as the uncut like video itself is about 30 minutes. A lot of these Pro-Am videos are about a half an hour, and then with my breakdown self, who's always trying to make the most out of explaining what the situation was and just, you know, some high IQ stuff like that, is honestly going to end up with these videos being about 30 minutes, 35 minutes every single time. So let me know what you think of all that stuff. You can see kind of sloppy end of the first quarter. Either way, we keep the lead 14-12 going into it, and honestly, the pace of that right there is going to be a pretty low scoring game. It's going to be about 60 to 58 or something like that. So I will say defense is very tough to beat in this when you're a novice, but eventually when people get their bullet passer on Hall of Fame, whether it be Nut or Giuseppe, or when people get more familiar with, like, you know, the scoring mechanics of just getting themselves open off the screens, or me breaking the defense, whether it's sides and me actually attacking like the slips and stuff like that the proper way, all of this stuff is a growing process, and we'll just become a whole lot more comfortable as we keep on doing it. You can see nice little slip right there, get the easy dunk, and stuff like this is exactly what I'm trying to get to you guys, where I'll get better with this right here. If this dude rotates slightly earlier, that's an easy dot to the corner, but the rotation you're probably going to see most often than not is going to be from this strong side right here, and that's how our team goes about it. Now, I want to go ahead and just give it a little bit of time to explain to you guys what I mean by strong side versus weak side. Now, strong side is going to be wherever our wing spot up is. So left side right here is strong side. We got pick and roll. I consider pick and roll to be the two guys. They're kind of like, you know, a jointed effort where this is two people and I just consider them as one. It's pick and roll. It takes two to guard two and it takes two to run this. So strong side is this left side right here where Nut is spotting up from the wing and we have Tonic on it as well. Now weak side right here is going to be Dope. Now, with this said, I would never ever rotate down from weak side because flat out there's nobody to help this. Like, it's just going to be a terrible time to try and rotate from there, and typically I would like to keep our worst defender right here so he can just stay at home at all times, and then our rotations would come from strong side. So if we were approaching this pick and roll defense right here, it's going to be left corner drop, left wing go to left corner to fill in for him, and then somebody from the top of here who's playing sides, probably the guy who's on the left playing the sides, would drop over to the wing, and then boom, everything's patched up. Now, that's all a work in progress. We aren't perfect with it yet, and you're going to see exactly right here where Tonic kind of drops a little bit early, and typically what I'm saying is I only want Tonic to drop off this corner and for Nut to rotate to the corner as well if we get beat. Now, this right here is obviously like nobody's in scoring range, and essentially Tonic will get way better at staying home and just not giving up easy threes when he doesn't need to, and he'll only move and drop when he needs to, is essentially what I'm saying. It's a moving piston. It's a team effort where when he drops, Nut will move from wing to corner, and then one of me between like me and Dope moves from our top of the key in the pick and roll game to the wing for Nut. It's all just a 3 or 4 man rotation at all times, and I would much prefer to come from that strong side like I was just talking about, because with the weak side rotation, you don't have much to work with, flat out. It's as simple as that. You can see Nut hits a really nice like spin back right there. He actually gets a couple of those throughout the course of the other games that we've played in the Pro-Am stuff. And I gotta say, my man's getting over here kind of saucy and stuff for being on a 6'7", all chunky and stuff with his super high weight. But with all that said, obviously, like I said, he's staying in the secondary ball handler role. You can see me and Giuseppe transition that really well. I'm going back up to the pick and roll game. Still get a 29% contest on that. I'm not exactly sure how. And that is going to be something that you see with these Pro-Am games, that really the contests are just something that's really hard to gauge right now, and we're going to get the hang of it as well. Go ahead and run it back for you guys right there. Hits the nice little step back. Really stomps on a dime and should get the 3-pointer right there, but only gets 2 points for it. The only reason I even ran that back is I'm low-key losing my voice when it comes to all the communicating I'm doing in the Pro-Am games, and then combine that with the commentary stuff as well. So, hey, like I said, again, feel free to drop a like on these videos and stuff, guys. There's a lot of work that goes into these Pro-Am videos, and the more likes and just the more feedback we get, obviously the more people end up watching it. And on top of that, the more people that watch it, the more I want to bring you guys these videos, and the more work and effort I want to put into these as well. Now, funny enough, honestly, doing the live commentaries creates less work for me, but if you guys enjoy it and you want to see it, I will 100% be willing to bring that to you guys. Now, right there, I feel like it's a time where I could ideally just camp block and make it easy on Giuseppe to maybe like go ahead and do his thing. Like right here, we get the switch. I feel like they don't want that. And honestly, if I would have just lingered around on this right block right here, it would have been a really simple situation. Now, if anybody has followed me through the 2K20 journey, you guys know through the stage videos or the Pro-Am videos, whatever it is, if they switch this pick and roll once, they're going to switch it again, whether they're playing sides or not. I promise you, once they switch once on a pick, you are just going to be able to dive right through here. Now, unfortunately, I get like held up, like I get bumped. Now you can see his idea and his goal was to like, you know, step up right here, and I would have been golden on this slip right here. Like there would have been nobody near me. Giuseppe could have easily thrown a lob to me. Now right there, again, I get hitched, I get bumped, and then it just sets me up with a horrible catch animation. I like glide in for a long layup instead of going for a dunk. It was just a horrible spot. Now right there, he hits the fake pass, tries to shoot it from the top, ends up shooting a white right there. Tonic goes for the leak out right here. Dope ends up being a little bit patched up, so they just get a tip and it goes out of bounds. Now, I don't really know how to attack the fast break game yet. I'm still learning when it comes to all that as well. It's really hard to identify when to throw it, when to not, especially for me grabbing rebounds. Now, I have Hall of Fame bullet passer. I got all that stuff. And then that right there is something we're working on as well, is just corner catches. I'm usually open on rolls and lobs, but either way, we reset it. Giuseppe hits me with a really nice lob. That was a perfect angle as far as like setting him up for it as well. Something we're working on chemistry-wise. I mean, literally, me and Giuseppe have never, ever been on the same court in any 2K. Like I'm talking playing against, playing with. I've never really watched him. He's probably never really watched me in that much regard. We're very familiar with each other though. We definitely know like what each other are good at and, you know, what we're working with as a teammate. But with all that said, it takes a lot of time to still get the chemistry and get everything down as far as playing together. Now that right there, I'm going to say is a very debilitating thing when it comes to our fast break defense. I personally probably shouldn't have crashed right here. I'm way out of this play. Honestly, we had like literally 3 people crash, and that's just a horrible situation. This is a free board. We should just all be getting back on defense right here. I mean, you can see they got this sandwiched right here. Right side, left side. He would have had a box out on Tonic either way. Also, one thing I want to point out before I forget, my takeover, I have changed this 100%. Like since this game right here, again, this is one of our first games, I have changed my takeover, and I'm just not a fan of the sharp take. It's not something I really think to like pop on, because as you can see, I mean, we're over here running in transition and stuff like that occasionally, where there's no sense in me getting a shot because I'm crashing board and stuff like that, or, you know, just freelance things like that. Or again, right there, it's just no sense in me having it. Right here, maybe I could have got a shot off because of the sharp takeover, but either way, I just think it's not the most effective thing. And then also you're going to see a lot of times I'm losing this takeover off stupid things, whether I just like, you know, get my ankles broke or something like that, or I get dunked on, or I just have like a really unlucky turnover, or I just put up some last second shot at the buzzer. And speaking of last second shot at the buzzer, Nut ends up with a really low shot clock. We end up all crashing again, and you can see none of us get it. And flat out, it's just really bad to put yourself in that spot where we have 4 people crashing offensive rebounds. Now, defensive rebounds, I think, are a different story as far as like, if we have a lot of people crashing, all it does is limit your fast break offense, and that's not really a problem. I mean, you can overcome that with just your own good half-court offense, but with that said, if you're crashing super hard on the offensive rebounds, like where we're at right now, it's just so debilitating toward your fast break defense game. Now you can see Nut, this guy goes for a charge on him, doesn't get it, gets a nice drive, and now we're back on defense. Got a little 2-for-1 as well, 30 seconds left, so we're gonna be able to get the last shot of the half. Now you're going to see me and Dope again are going to come out in this sides defense. We didn't really execute the perfect way like I wanted to after the early first quarter, where we were playing perfect as far as transitioning and like passing each other off to where we were like really sealing up the backside. Now this right here on the offensive end is an absolute power play. Now you're going to see great screens. Like I hit him one right there, absolutely seal him off on this one. Creates what we're going to call on the channel a full switch right here, where this guy ideally wants to be guarding Giuseppe, and this guy ideally wants to be guarding me, but he has been taken out of the play, so we get the mismatch. Now, it's not a huge mismatch because of this next-gen stuff, but with that said, it's just uncomfortability. This guy doesn't want to be in this situation, and this guy doesn't want to be in this situation. So I'm going to go ahead and camp the block to take this situation out of their hands where they cannot get the switch back, whereas if I was sitting right here next to him, he would be able to just back up. They're back on the backside, and he's back on the front, and it's just a simple, very easy switch to be made. Now, if you stay away from each other, then it just makes it really hard on them to communicate, and then boom, I get this standing lob right here as a result of that outcome. So where did all that start from? Just really good screens, and that is the goal coming up the court every single time. Now, some teams, what they're going to do to Giuseppe when I hold screens like that on the inbounds, and you can see they get a nice dunk right there at the buzzer, and I'm not going to lie, I had to activate my takeover, unfortunately, because flat out, I already know if I get dunked on like that, if I'm even in the vicinity while like the dude dunks, I'm just losing my takeover entirely. It's very unfortunate. Now, you see the stat line right there, me, Giuseppe, and Nut combining for 27. You know, Tonic and Dope with 0. It's just a kind of typical thing when we have this little big three of the double ball handlers and me as the big man. And then as far as rebounds go, we're doing pretty solid, 11 to 8 on the board count. Turnovers, I will say we're getting a lot better at. Like, it just comes with the comfortability of playing straight up. It's just as simple as that. Giuseppe hits a nice little drive right there. Obviously, helps off the corner. That's something that we will 100% get as well over time. But either way, gets a nice little bailout with a foul call. And then goes 1 for 2 on the free throw line. Getting back in transition, obviously, you know, little simple fast breaks like that are very easy to get back and everybody be in the right spots. However, this is a situation that we have definitely struggled on early, and I think we're getting better at it, and I'm definitely understanding that it's more of a me thing where I need to just take whoever's in the paint. Now, you can see one guy screening up here, so I'm thinking, okay, this guy's just going to fill into the corner, simple as that, and then I'm just on the left side of this pick, Dope's on the right. Really simple, right? But what this guy understands is that Giuseppe is responsible for him, and then I'm responsible, at least I think, for this left side of the pick, and then it leaves us in a situation like this. Now, I'm not even sure how to attack this moving forward. I feel like Giuseppe just following his guy, who's likely going to end up in the corner anyway, might be the move, but it's just a very confusing thing because it takes me away from this left side of the pick, yet there'd be nobody on this left side of the screen unless Dope moved over here, and then Giuseppe moved up here, and then I moved down here. It's just a triangle of like really just misunderstandings and stuff like that. Now, he ended up really way too low underneath the basket right in the circle, so it makes it so he wasn't even able to get the actual dunk off itself of the standing lob, and then beautiful dot right there to Nut. But you guys get what I'm saying, essentially. That is one thing that we definitely need to figure out on defense. I think the right solution to that would just be for Giuseppe to follow his guy into the paint, and then he'll end up near him. And as long as he's like you know, bodied up on him pretty well, he should be able to take that away. Tonic with a beautiful steal. Honestly, he was getting a ton of steals when it comes to that. And you can see nice lob by Giuseppe, and we fill in the fast break. But Tonic was getting so many steals out of this left corner right here. And I feel like it was because early on they were able to just keep on dotting him, right? So again, this guy thinks that he's going to have Tonic, you know, helping down to the paint because he broke Dope right here, and then I'm stepping up, and then flat out easy roll to the paint, right? And Giuseppe kind of like, you know, baits a little bit as well. Nice bait by him. But again, he's probably thinking, okay, I've dotted this guy like 3 times already. He is just always helping down to the paint and stuff like that. So I'm going to be able to just dot this left corner. Boom. Absolutely. Like this dude Tonic, I would like to think he was the turning point of this game, flat out. I mean, he gets us 5 points and gets us 2 steals like that, and then they call a timeout too. You already know you're making plays if you're making the other team call a timeout before like situational things like, you know, at half. Now you're probably thinking like, yo, Laker, are you just like rewinding this stuff and like keep on playing it over and over again? No, I swear, bro, like this dude was over here breaking us 2 times in a row. This dude Tonic was over here getting 2 lanes 2 times in a row. It's just deja vu all over the place. Now right there, again, he gets the ankle breakers. It really didn't create any situation that really made them score. They just broke our side's defense pretty well. Now right here, you're going to see they're playing a pretty aggressive defense where they're playing too high. I would say this is something that I promise you Giuseppe will be able to hit moving forward. And this is something that I understand already. Like this dude's playing super high. He's on the left side of the screen. Like he looks like he's just ready to step up. You know what I mean? So I'm already taking this slip right here, or I should be, so to say. I honestly probably would have scored this easy if I would have just slipped instead of holding the pick. But either way, I'm chilling for the standing lob. I think Giuseppe still could have hit this right here. And then we end up missing. I end up hitting Tonic in the left corner. I believe he ends up missing this as well. And then I honestly could have got that rebound. And I do apologize to you guys for how many rewinds I'm doing, but this is just something that really irritates me about this game. It really makes no sense. Like, watch where this ball bounces, right? I'm on the left side. He's on the right. The ball bounces to the left. And my dude literally just gets like 2 inches off the ground, whereas if I would have just jumped with my 92 vertical, Hall of Fame rebound chaser, 99 defensive rebound, even though I think that was low-key offense. Yeah, it was offense, but either way, 96 offensive rebound and all that with like 92 vert, 6'8". I just don't understand why I can't go up for that rebound. Straight up. It's as simple as that. Like, I've never had that problem in other games, and that just 100% is a problem in this game. Now you see Nut coming out with the ISO as well. I'm trying to get out his way, get to the wing. Gives it to Giuseppe. Giuseppe tries to give it back to Nut. Turnover. And again, fast breaks are really, really tough to play proper defense on, especially with all the BS that happens like that. And then again, we're just all over the place. Luckily, I think they don't score on this right here. Yeah, we get a tip pass and then goes out of bounds. But again, fast breaks are really hard to play proper defense on because flat out, especially for novices, where we all want to be in specific spots on defense. And then you can see they get some BS right here again. So this guy gets inside position, gets a passing lane, ends up with inside position again off a loose ball, and then they get, you know, a bailout bucket right there as well. Now, hey, all love to these guys. They played a very good competitive game. And when I say stuff like that, I don't mean it offensively, just to, you know, clarify things to everybody. But either way, obviously, you know, a couple buckets that were pretty undeserved in those situations. Now, horrible sequence right here again. So Giuseppe kicks it to Dope. Dope back to Giuseppe. Somehow, apparently, he picked up his dribble as he's trying to move. And then I get called for an illegal screen right here as well. And it was just a horrible situation. Again, I'm not exactly sure why that happens in the first place. That's a couple things we still have to get used to with the Pro-Am. I'm sure that's just an outlier that really doesn't happen very often anyway. And it's not just a Pro-Am thing. It's just a weird bug that just happened, so to say. Now, right there, absolutely horrible defense. I can't believe they didn't score off that. And, you know, really, like, I should have dropped, and it's about as simple as that. And I just left Dope kind of, you know, like playing halvesies, and it just really was a bad situation. Now, from a glance of it, again, this big is playing super high in the picks. I think this is something we're going to get used to more over time, where really, like, Giuseppe would probably move more aggressively toward the top of the key and toward the left side of the screen that I was setting right there. And again, fast break defense is really just a problem, man. But again, I think moving forward, Giuseppe is more like three-point hunting, would be, you know, coming across the top of the key toward the left, toward me, and really forcing this guy on the backside to step up. And then when he does step up, you're going to see I drop back just like that, take the slip, get the easy lob, perfect every single time. If anybody's playing sides on us, that's how I want to attack it every single time. So coming back on defense, on this possession, you're going to see I'm on the right side of the screen, Dope's on the left. I'd like to think this is pretty good defensive execution. Like, I mean, we didn't really fail as far as like staying on the right side of the pick. He just gets a step ahead of me. Giuseppe drops down, gets pulled into a contact dunk. Rinse, repeat. You're going to see that a lot in this game, and we try our best to avoid it at all times. And that's why eventually Tonic is going to end up on a build that has max interior D, max perimeter D, max steal, max block, all that stuff. He just has literally almost no playmaking. And it is what it is, because as you're going to see in these games, Tonic really doesn't do too much on the offensive end, which is cool. Like, I feel like a lot of people I've seen in the comments, a nice drive by Nut right there, but a lot of people in the comments, they talk about like, oh, I'd never play Pro-Am like that. That looks so boring. That looks like the worst enjoyment like time in the world. I'd never put myself in that situation. You'll never catch me sitting in somebody's corner. Listen, bro, like if you expect us to be running some like high school basketball motion offense or something like that to get everybody involved, it's just not what happens in 2K, all right? So people understand they have roles, they have things that they're good at, and flat out Tonic is going to be great at what he does. Now, I will say this is another novice thing that we are 100% not going to make the mistake eventually. I promise you, these are things that nobody on this team is going to be doing on accident over time. Patience is key, and we just ended up in a bad spot. Dope got the ball. He doesn't want the ball, obviously, because he's just in a bad situation with it. And then he ends up passing it to Tonic, of all people, who also doesn't want the ball. He's probably trying to backtrack over here to get across to the corner, and Giuseppe's going to move up. It was just everybody's in a bad spot for the time. So Dope ends up checking this to Tonic, and then it's just obviously a horrible pass to be made, and then just gets an easy steal. I mean, really, like, we were really dominating these guys, but I just feel like novice mistakes were made in this game, and flat out, that's what we are. We're all novices, so I'm not knocking anybody when I'm saying that stuff. I'm just saying it's a very evident thing. So right there, Dope ends up with the ball again on the wing, comes all the way to the top. I would ideally think to fake pass right there just to end up with like picking your dribble up and nobody can really steal the ball from you or pluck it from you, or as long as you're holding LT, you should be good. Either way, nice drive right there by Nut. We end up getting a 5-point lead off of that, and they get the final possession right here in the third. Now, right here, I was actually thinking to play left side of the screen, but he ended up kind of drifting a little bit, and it was just a weird situation. Perfect execution on this. Now, I really don't want to constantly fast forward and rewind with these games and stuff for you guys. I know it makes it a little bit less enjoyable from like a entertainment perspective, but for me to explain to you guys the defensive outlook and just the plans that we have on D, and just to explain to you what we're wanting to do right here. Again, he's moving to the left side of the screen. I was on the right side. So I already know I'm passing this off to Dope. I can trust that he's going to be on the high side, and I'm going to back up and take away this easy roll so that we don't have any of this miscommunication from the corner, wing, other corner, anything like that. Forces him to take a post hop. I'm not sure if he was comfortable with that shot or not. Either way, low-key was kind of a good look. He only got a really low percent contest on it. Nut gets the ball with his takeover, ends up coming back to the top of the key. I can promise you guys too, those shots that dude just took right there, they go in all the time. It's the shot clock cheese is literally back in this game, and it's honestly a bit frustrating to watch that, but it's legit. It actually works pretty consistently. Now again, great defense by Dope right there. Now I end up on the front side of this pick. It was really just a bad situation. You guys could see it clearly. I'm not gonna rewind every single thing, but ideally I would have been the one to drop back on that, and then it just ended up being like a really weird spot where they kind of reversed it on us with the pick and roll, where he was moving to the right, then he like redirected back to the left or something like that. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but either way, this is why we rewind to like see those things clearly. But anyway, Nut with the sharp take only gets a single team. They didn't double him or anything like that. Didn't play sides off the pick. Really confused defense in the first place, and he gets a nice 3-pointer off that. Really a game changer. I'm gonna be real with you guys. Like, having two ball handlers is a very nice thing where people can feel very comfortable in just like themselves, you know what I mean? Like, you don't feel forced to, the whole weight of the world is not on your shoulders on offense if you're Giuseppe when Nut's on the team. Same goes for Nut. Like, if Giuseppe's on the team, the whole weight of the world is not on his shoulders to carry the offense. And I'd like to think too, I kind of play a little backseat point guard, so to say, as well sometimes, where I'm calling out like what I see. So a lot of times, like, I think all three of us are finding some comfort together playing with each other. But with that said, I will also be cool with us playing in a situation where maybe if Nut is gone, and that seems like it might be the most likely outcome, is if anybody's missing, it might be him, and we substitute with another lockdown, and we have a lot of defense to where that can be our calling card, and if Giuseppe can still produce on O, then it's all good, you know? But either way, even if he can't, then the defense should be able to carry a little bit harder, with considering we'll have a ton of people with defensive badges. Now again, perfect defense. I drop, rotate, all that stuff. It was perfect D. Didn't require anybody else to do anything. And Tonic right there, I'm gonna be real. Like, he's gonna be on a build that has flat out almost 99 interior defense. He's not getting dunked on like that next time. I can promise you that. Again, nice little 3-man press break right there. We hit 2 passes. Nut hits the spin back, gets a 27% contest somehow. I don't know how. And again, long rebound just goes out of my hands. Not sure why. Fast break, dunk, up by 3. Now, because this is a Pro-Am intro as well, I want to introduce you guys to what we're thinking as far as press break. Now, you can see he gets past that pretty easily, but let's just imagine this guy's on him, this guy's on the backside, right? And they're just full court pressing with him, and he can't get past him, right? Let's just say Giuseppe can't get past this lock. Now, if I set a full screen and Giuseppe tries to sprint past it on that screen, this guy right here is going to try and run into him and bump him as well. So the way of the press break, it almost acts the exact same way as open court pick and roll, where if Giuseppe looks like he's going to get double teamed, I need to slip the screen and he can just hit me to break the press. It's a very effective situation, and right here you might even see it as well, where boom, if he's getting double teamed, I got to just drift up the court. It was a little bit different though because Dope was the inbounder instead of myself, so it wasn't a 2-on-2 situation. It was more of like a 3-on-2, so to say. But you guys get what I'm saying. I just want to introduce you guys to what we're thinking to do when it comes to press break. Now, beautiful play right there. Dope ends up cutting off the inbound, and then Giuseppe hits him right away, just like that. Nice little cut. Those type of points are very, very desirable. I'm gonna be real. Like, when you can get the BS points, so to say, it's a really beautiful thing. Now, Dope gets a crazy block right there. Honestly, we probably got a little bit lucky with that, but I saw that obviously he was in a good position, or that I should just get back on O. It's just a very potential situation where it would have gave us a scoring opportunity, and we executed on it. So that was a great fast break. We get an easy bucket. Now, with me on a different take, oh, and I gotta say, I'm sorry for the horribly placed cut. It was just something I really want to talk about, but I'm definitely gonna switch over to that different takeover. I feel like I'll get more progress on it if I just have glass and slash takeover. Simple as that. But right here, I'm gonna be real. I don't know if this right here is him absolutely dotting the mess out of us, where it was gonna be rotation, right? It was gonna be Tonic down, and then Nut up, and then obviously, you know, it was just a bad spot. Like, neither me or Dope were going to be able to rotate to this wing. Now, I don't know if this guy identified that and just absolutely saw that he was going to be able to dot this, or there's this thing going on in Pro-Am, right, where it's pass openness on your target profile sliders, right? And you just put that thing all the way to 98 for the openness, and it just throws the ball to the most open person. I don't know if that's what he did right there. I myself have 100% committed to actually like changing my pass target profile to openness, because flat out, you're not going to see a single time in this game that I do a directional pass So I may as well just use it as a tool, so to say, of like something I could use in open court or on slips and pick and rolls and stuff like that. Now right there, I don't know what's going on with that. I mean, me and Tonic both crowd that lob pretty well. He still gets the lob to go and they get the 2 points off that. They tie the game right there. Now, you can see that dude on the wing right there that was supposed to be Nuts guy. He was definitely dropping down to like blitz and double team Giuseppe. Beautiful pass to get it out of his hands. And then on top of that, I just big body somebody really bad, get him out of the play. Really like, you know, classic pick and roll right there where you just like body someone looking like some 2K17 stuff. But either way, you get the deal. Now right here, I'm not gonna lie, we got really bailed out. You're gonna obviously tell that ends up in a 2-point opportunity in transition. But right here, I think that I'm on the big, right? I think Dope's kind of just showing. Now, I think this dude right here, like, I think Dope, his man is this guy, and then I'm on this big, and I think Dope's just showing, right? Now, I think we both get kind of confused because he sees me take this first step over this way, then he thinks that he's on ball, he thinks I'm over here, just communication and stuff like that, just miscues. But either way, we get really lucky, I'm not going to lie. This right here could have ended in 2. Obviously, you know, Nut takes a pretty bad shot right there. We kind of joked about it for the whole night too, like how he could have easily hit Dope on a lob or just a cut right there. But either way, we get kind of lucky that we didn't give up 3 points right there because flat out that wing guy was wide open. Beautiful play again. Nut goes, you know, cutting off the inbound. Again, Giuseppe hits him on a lob off the inbound. We had something like that earlier as well. We take a nice 2-possession lead with almost a minute left in the game. Now you're going to see right here, this is perfect offense. Like I'm talking, Dope was playing great D, but he just gets an absolute nasty crab on us. Ends up getting the 3-pointer off of that as well. Honestly, I'm still kind of bitter over that 3-pointer that Giuseppe wasn't able to get somehow and only counted as a 2-point. But either way, you can see big man's playing pretty high. Boom, I'm going for the slip, aka like kind of, it wasn't a slip because it didn't look like they were playing sides, but I curled it off a little bit more to give Giuseppe a good opportunity to throw me the lob because flat out, if that's a flat regular pass, that is not getting there. It's just not going to work. And you see right here, I popped my takeover on because I'm thinking this dude's probably going to break me on a step back or something, or I'm going to get dunked on, one of the two things. Beautiful defense right there. You're gonna see I fight over instead, and now I'm on the backside. But unfortunately, he just runs past all of us. We overplay everything. Giuseppe ends up getting N1'd on, and just like that, it gives him an opportunity to tie the game. Now, keep in mind everything with the scoreboard, the time left, everything, the shot clock, all that. We're gonna have 24 seconds. You can see he actually has NA on as his free throw, which gives him a 99% chance to hit it. So obviously, why not do that? That's something that we're also learning as well. But keep in mind the scoreboard, the time, all that stuff. Now, I'm over here telling Giuseppe, like, yo, I already know, bro. They're not trying to give up a 3. They're not trying to do anything like that. And with all the time included as well, if we can score before 24 seconds, we'll end up getting the last shot. So I want to, at the very least, give ourselves an opportunity to go for this slip. So with all that said as well, one last thing I want to mention is I have sharp takeover on right here. I believe that's something that's going to make them play super high. They don't want to give up a 3. They don't want to give up a wide open like pick and pop or anything like that. So as soon as he moves toward me, again, he's starting from left, moving to right. I'm starting on his right. As soon as he moves toward me to put the pressure on this guy to step up, I'm diving. Simple as that. We get a nice easy take. With 26 seconds left, we give ourselves an opportunity to get the last shot. We're going to do the exact same thing right here and play super high on sides. We don't want anybody over here or anybody, you know, in this right corner to be helping or anything like that to drift off for a 3-pointer because flat out, why? We got the 2-for-1. We want to take last shot. We give them an easy 2. Simple as that. Worst thing that can happen, we go to OT. Best case scenario, obviously, we get the lead. So obviously, I'm not gonna lie, I shouldn't have said the best case or the worst case scenario is we just go to OT because obviously we could turn the ball over or something like that. But right here, when we get it to half court, we're feeling pretty comfortable. Now I'm thinking right here, like, okay, they definitely don't want to give up no freaking slip right here. Like it's pretty clear, like, you know, in a situation where it's a tie game and you might not even get last shot, they're not trying to play like heavy high side defense right here where they're just going to give me an easy opportunity to the rim. But low-key, they kind of did right here because this dude fully commits. Now, he would have dropped off corner, but I'm thinking pick and pop in this situation. It just doesn't get open at all. Now, I'm over here trying to curl off Giuseppe, and we'll just flat out let you guys see it full speed because I know I'm not trying to be a super buzzkill or anything like that. But anyway, again, I'm trying to go for pick and pop right here. It's just flat out not open on this left side. I'm trying to roll around him to the right. And then Giuseppe gets a rim run right here, dunks on almost 4 people, and then there's 0.8 left on the clock. Now, let's just put it like this. We didn't exactly know what we were doing on defense right here. We wanted to put in man defense so everybody was on their own guy, but on defense, I can't call a timeout. So we're all just finding a person, and he gets that last second heave that honestly, y'all, like that type of shot goes in so much, and I don't understand why. The shot clock cheese is real. I don't know what the contest was on this or anything like that, but as you can see, like 4 people tried to jump at this because he just caught the ball and we all just attacked, you know, as simple as that. But flat out, I'm honestly surprised that didn't go in. I'm gonna be real with you. But either way, we win the game. We win by 2. You can see as far as the turnovers go, really not that big of a problem. Giuseppe only had 2 turnovers, 12 assists. Great ratio when it comes to that. I didn't even have a single assist, whether it was, you know, fast break or just on the rolls and just passing out. They gave me pretty easy looks, I would say, as far as like lob finishes or slips right down the middle with no rotation to the corners or anything like that. A lot of good teams, and not to say these guys are a bad team, but a lot of good teams you're going to see, they're probably going to drop the corner on me at the very least and then rotate the wing to corner. And then I'll probably try and dot the left wing, or I might even dot the point guard if they have a whole 3-man rotation or something like that. But we'll go over all that stuff in future videos. As you can see, again, big 3 over here producing pretty well. I'm going to consider this a big 3 right here because flat out it's just all 3 of us content creators. And I'd like to think these 2 are known as good scorers, and I'd like to think I'm known as a good big man. But either way, you guys know what I'm saying. I know what I bring to the table as far as a big man and stuff like that as well. The IQ of the rolls, the slips, the defense, all types of stuff like that, rebounding, etc., etc. Now, one thing I really do want to mention to you guys before the video ends is you're going to see a couple people quit right here, right? And then you see myself quit as well. So what this is right here is essentially, it's to avoid losing overall. I've seen a lot of people ask questions about this, like, oh, you won the game, why did you quit? Stuff like that in all types of people's chats, like especially Joe as well, because, you know, a lot of his audience is new to the Pro-Am stuff. But the reason you would want to quit, you don't lose overall, you really don't get much rep at all when it comes to, you know, for winning this. You don't get any badge progress or anything like that. So really, there's no point in not quitting out. So simple as that. Hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on the noties, all that good stuff. And let's try to get this one to, I want to say at least 500 likes in the first 24 hours. I'm hoping this video produces pretty well and, you know, actually does pretty well with the views and stuff like that. But honestly, what I've started to realize is I need to stop worrying about just, you know, the success of like just numbers and view count and stuff like that. I know you guys are going to love this series, and I know I'm going to love doing it and making this series as well. So I'm really looking forward to the Pro-Am content. I might even get into this stuff like super consistently as well. I might get back to my updated like badge ranking tiers and stuff like that, since I'm getting back into the swing of the game. And I might be playing more 2v2, 3v3 and stuff like that with Giuseppe, just to get more chemistry in the pick and roll game as well. So with all that said, I think I'm back on the next gen stuff. I might mix in some 2K20 here and there just for the entertainment purposes and stuff like that. But as far as my niche and my like way of content that I love to produce, it's gonna be in this. I love doing the breakdowns. I love just the high IQ stuff, how to get better as a player, teaching you guys things, or your enjoyment of just seeing the high IQ stuff come full circle as well. So with all that said, I hope y'all enjoyed. If you made it to the very end of the video, put LA in the comments, so it supports me all the way through. And that, hope y'all enjoyed. Take it easy, man. Peace.